we will see on stage during picks and bans, like trying to help the team. As we take a look at the team itself, in the top lane, it's macintoshpluss. In the jungle, microlag, malfunction 23 in the mid lane, Dorlingis on AD carry, and THASMALLBOI on support.
Yeah, very strong very strong lineup coming out from Chisholm. Very similar to what we've seen all season long. Chisholm did actually have an in-house tournament to decide their team, right? They picked the best 5 players out of that entire tournament, so they have a very strong team, and they I believe they made the quarterfinals or the round of 16 in our, I believe it was the quarterfinals in our high school League of Legends tournament earlier this year. So very strong side, and good to see them again getting opportunity to play on stage. Obviously, they practice side by side, so they might be a little bit more familiar with the stage environment as a whole. So. Good to see Chisholm getting involved, and we'll have to see who their opponents are today on the red side. Coomera will be taking them on. Up in the top lane, we got Ultie. In the jungle, Digital D-Star. In the mid lane, we got Wardbrother. In the bot lane, EnderGamer. And in the support, Master Masoon.
I wonder if that AD carry, EnderGamer, is actually referenced to the book by Orson Scott Card, Ender's Game. Fantastic book, by the way, if you haven't read it. If you can, yeah, it's a really great book.
Great. I didn't know that book existed. I thought it was like Ender Dragon, like Minecraft reference, maybe.
Oh, that's probably more likely. I'm old. I'm old. I go back to my sci-fi books. It's a sick book. There's like laser fights and zero gravity.
Oh,
and
classic. Yeah.
Like
just the essentials, really.
Yeah, it's horrible child manipulation. Good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, look, laser fights in zero gravity. There could be nothing better, but. Maybe there could be something better here. We have League of Legends at the Ekka. Wondering what instrument's going to interrupt us today, because we haven't heard anything yet. I'm still hoping for that piano, and I'm still hoping for a
the yodeling
or a big yodel trip to come through. That'd be really, really nice if that could happen. But
I like kazoo too. That's a good one.
Yeah, kazoo.
I actually spent too much time last night looking up kazoo covers of famous songs. True story. I think my favorite one was "Wake Me Up When September Ends" by Green Day, as done on kazoo. It's musical genius is really what I can use to describe it. The video only had 42 views, so I encourage all of you at home to go ahead and look up "Wake Me Up When September Ends" by Kazoo and click on the video with what looked to be like this 14-year-old girl playing it on guitar and the kazoo at the same time.
Hell yeah, that's very talented.
She needs that boost for sure.
Boost, interesting term.
The boost of views.
Boost of views, right?
Yes.
Okay, I thought we were talking about my League of Legends account. No, I didn't say that. No, okay. Very much. Should be getting into game very shortly here. Both these sides again looking to take it on. I mean, I definitely think Chisholm, obviously the favourites coming into here. Obviously the stronger side did better in the high school league, and also more practiced org. I mean, I'm very excited to see Malfunction here. I know he's a great Yasuo player and is one of those more exciting champions. Microlag as well is the best player on Chisholm's side. He's platinum ranked, decent jungle. Very okay. He plays Rek'Sai, Lee Sin, not Lee Sin, Master Yi. As we are now into pick and bans.
Yeah, so getting into this one, definitely looking towards Chisholm's and their jungle mid synergies. Curious what they will go for, as right away Warwick being banned out. And as we mentioned before with the first game, a lot of times you look to either ban away meta champions or comfort champions. Warwick, that wolf down there, definitely not meta, so
no.
I believe some scouting has been done, and they are targeting Digital D-Star's champion pool, recognizing he plays a lot of this specific champion and saying, you know what, we are going to ban that away.
Yeah, I mean, Silas as well, meta ban now coming out of Chisholm, one of the strongest flex picks in the meta right now, can go mid-top and the jungle, can really only play those solo lanes into magic damage matchups, right? Because his E now gives that magic shield instead of a normal shield. But in the jungle, he's still very strong. He's W healing buffed as well against monsters, so a little bit stronger in that jungle. Kled, another meta ban being taken out against macintoshpluss. Overall, these bans are still a little bit more on the target ban side, but they are still relatively meta. I think Warwick as well as, very strong champion, had a nice skin come out as well, a new Project Warwick skin, which I quite enjoy, as Warwick is pretty much the only jungler I can actually play. Warwick and Kha'Zix are the two that I can play in. If you didn't know what they're doing right now, it's actually there's 143 different characters you can actually pick in League of Legends, the game, and before every competitive game they have a pick and ban phase, so you get to elect some characters you don't want to play against or you don't want your opponents to play, and then you get to select the character that you want to play. And the first one has been locked in here for Chisholm, Gnar up in the top side for macintoshpluss.
And it's an insta-lock in response from Coomera, going for that Pyke. Definitely one of the stronger champions in the current competitive meta. that will be most likely run by Master Maysoon down there on the support role. So good picks, although with the Morgana lock-in as well, I'm actually curious what Coomera is going for.
Morgpie bot lane? Surely it's Morgpie bot lane.
That
surely.
sounds... Please explain to me more about the interactions of the Morg Pyke.
I mean, it's more traditionally Karma Pyke is the stronger one, but Morg Pyke's quite strong as well. Basically, the whole point of the lane is you use Morgana to farm the wave, and you just that Pyke just constantly fight every time you get a root on Morgana. And Pyke pretty much just constantly goes in, and because his ultimate got buffed to now give double gold on a kill. So if you don't know what, Pyke's the champion up in the top right hand, selected by Ultie, the top one for Coomera's side. And he actually, Pyke the champion, has an ultimate where he instantly kills an opponent once they get below a certain HP. And he actually gets double gold for killing a champion. So there's a set amount of gold that you will get assigned to do certain things in the game. For example, minions are between like 20 gold. Champion kills are like 300 gold. And when Pyke gets a kill with his ultimate, he gets 600 gold. And the first ally that, or the last ally that hit the champion also gets another 300 gold. So that's 900 total gold off a kill worth 300. So one of those champions that can really excite your gold. But the rest of the champions have been locked in right now into the second phase of bans.
Yeah, as we're continuing on, Chisholm went ahead and got themselves the Kindred, most likely from microlag in that jungle, to go with Malfunction and his Yasuo. This is something that we highlighted before. Strong character on a strong player. They go hand in hand. Malfunction's a very strong Yasuo, so I expect a lot of mid lane pressure actually to be coming out of Chisholm. On Coomera's side, though, we saw a Nunu locked in response. That will be played by Digital D-Star in the jungle. And Nunu, super fun to watch in competitive play.
Yeah, Nunu's one more of a fun jungler. Is it bad that I'm looking at these champions and just thinking about TFT comps?
Yeah, no, I saw the
All
exact
I'm
same
seeing
thing
is
from
TFT.
Chisholm right now.
I was like,
that is a strong TFT comp.
Ranger, Blade Master, Exile, Shapeshifter, Yordle. There's no synergy. What's going on here?
Yeah, there's no synergy, but they're all power picks. Like,
true, they are all. I mean, Kindred. I mean, my opinion on Kindred is very different.
Okay.
A lot of people in the office love Kindred. I'm not the biggest fan of Kindred in TFT. I don't really run Ranger comps too often.
I love Ranger comps.
I actually need to try them.
But here's the thing, though. You want to run Karthus in every single comp. And if you get that Kindred, ta-da, you have your Phantom buff. Again, though, what we are talking about has no relevance to what we actually see on the screen.
Ranger buff locked in, baby.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Both AD carries have been locked in for each side, Caitlyn as well as a Vayne, so range advantage going Coomera's side. But if you want to cut down on that range, you take a Nautilus, and the last pick for Coomera will be the Vladimir. So
Pyke top or Pyke mid?
Yeah, I'm actually very confused to see this Pyke actually not taking support given his recent nerfs.
Yeah, Pyke used to be a tech in the mid and the top lane, as you'd take him as one of those little bit off-meta picks. Off-meta is obviously not normal, not a normal strong pick, but because he got nerfed so his Q doesn't do AoE, which is area of effect damage, so dealing damage to more than one unit. Now it just does damage to one unit, and so he really struggles with wave clear. So you'll see once we get into the game, minions spawn on both sides, 6 each wave, or 7 on a cannon wave, which is every 3 waves of all groups of minions. And Pyke is just one of those champions who really struggles to take them out because he can't do damage to minion with his E anymore. So he just has no way to actually take out the entire wave until he gets his Tiamat, which costs him about 1,300 gold, which is an item you have to buy. So he's just in those solo lanes, he just really struggles, especially against a Yasuo early on. He can definitely be taken advantage of, and it's going to be very hard for him to actually get in and kind of do anything in this lane. So obviously, is it one of those picks that can start working? I mean, I got stomped by a Pyke top yesterday. I played Jax and just got dominated, so that was fun. But normally, Pyke top is a little bit more of a defensive, or just a little bit more of a troll pick, and isn't the best in lane. Does fall off quite hard as well, being an assassin. And into this Yasuo, it's definitely going to be heavily favored for Malfunction in the mid lane.
The other thing as well that caught me a bit off guard as we moved into this one, as you may or may not know, before loading into a game, there are things called runes and masteries. You can sort of see they're symbolized underneath the summoner spells when the game gets brought up for what's available. And yeah, they're the little icons next to the champion. You see their names on the left and right hand side of the screen. It's the bottom right hand corner thing. And the one that's sticking out to me right now is that red lightning bolt on the Vladimir. So Ultie opting to take Electrocute. That's not something I normally see on Vlad.
No, generally you take Phase Rush on Vlad, which is a ability which once you hit 3 abilities gives you a burst of movement speed. It just gives you a little bit of extra safety, especially up on the top side there. On the red side, he's one of the strongest weak side carries. So weak side is a concept that refers to the map when one side has less members than the other. A little bit more of an advanced League of Legends concept, but League of Legends, sorry, not League of Legends, Vladimir is one of the strongest weak side defensive carries because he has an ability that allows him to become invulnerable and also move around. So he's able to pop that pull. What we'll call it is pull. Sanguine pull is the name of the ability, and he'll just be able to get out of any ganks, which is when a jungler comes and shows up in your map, which is the one that kind of roams around in the middle. So he has a lot of escape tools and a lot of defensive ways to play through a lane, and then once he gets later into the game, once he gets 3 or 4 items, he becomes very strong. So he's one of those champions you can pick up in the top lane to kind of survive any matchup and do well. And then when you get later into the game, he'll always be a strong threat. So definitely something for Coomera that could be good. But I definitely think we need to focus towards this mid lane and towards this bot lane as well. Caitlyn Morgana, I didn't really comment on it, but it has been picked up for Coomera, which is one of the strongest 2v2 lanes early on in the game. And is almost unbeatable with that range and poke they give. Both of them actually opting to heal as well. So a little bit of a interesting tech they've taken here in this bot lane, but we'll have to wait and see how it works. One of the safest, longest lanes in the game, especially having a Morgana into Nautilus means that Black Shield is going to be very useful, which denies any crowd control abilities or CC.
Already, though, some interesting movements as well coming from Chisholm. It was a bit of a cheeky invade by microlag. He's looking for that level 2 play, a flash burn from Digital D-Star, but microlag's able to jump over the wall. He will find first blood in this one just 2 minutes and 20 seconds in.
That was a very smart play from the Kindred, instantly pathing to the wolves. Interesting thinking that Nunu wouldn't go there, but here, Pyke versus...
That sidestep was super good. Unfortunately, microlag still got hit by the stun, but with that double buff, would have won that trade if Master Masoon did not rotate down. So a cheeky invade gives Chisholm a huge advantage. You know, that's also golden experience being taken away from both Wardbrother as well as Master Masoon as they had to react to the Kindred. Fantastic start for Chisholm.
Yeah, really great start from Chisholm and really smart play there from microlag. Was also dropped that early ward on the wall, so we'll know where the Nunu is, and actually invading once again to take away another buff.
Yeah, a microlag not giving Digital D-Star sort of anything to work with at the moment, going for what might be a triple buff, really a quadruple buff because it was stolen right away. Yeah. And with help from macintoshpluss with the roam down, this is a very safe take right now. And Digital D-Star on this Nunu. Now, Nunu can be very strong, but it is weaker early game. He can't be invaded like this, and unfortunately, this means it's going to be longer for him to get going.
And the Kindred mark has actually already been picked up by the Kindred. Obviously, Kindred is a champion who stacks up or has this interesting mechanic where if you kill someone, you put a mark on, you'll get a mark, or certain camps around the map, which are these little yellow dots you see in the bottom screen, will allow Kindred to actually get a certain amount of stacks, and after she gets, 3 stacks, 4 stacks, he gets different abilities. You see him invading again and fighting against.
Yeah, Digital D-Star is a level up, but it doesn't matter if Malfunction's able to rotate there first. microlag picking up yet another kill in this mid lane.
Yeah, really showing the mastery over the Kindred here from microlag. Is only level 2, and only taken 2 and a little bit camps, and he's already dominating the jungle. I mean, does need to go back and farm and start scaling up a little bit because Kindred is one of those junglers that does thrive late game, but getting such a strong start early on in this Kindred is really going to help set him up for late game.
Yeah, definitely a good start. And just, a quick little refresher for those of you who are in our audience and might be coming through and seeing this game for the first time as to what exactly is going on. Maybe you're a bit confused because you've never seen a game quite like this. This game is League of Legends. And essentially, it's a 5v5 team game where, each of these teams are going to work together and sort of push forward against the enemy team and in the end take down their base. That is how you win it. And at the moment, for the first 15 minutes of this game, however, you're not even really going to be seeing the bases. You're just going to be seeing a lot of plays similar to this, where everyone is sort of sticking to a specific role. If you look down at the bottom right-hand corner of the map, you'll see there are 3 lanes. For the most part, these champions will stay in these lanes, except for microlag and Digital D-Star. They're the ones who are going to be roaming between all the lanes as the junglers, and they're the ones who are going to be making the plays. And this is why we are following a bit more on them, especially with microlag playing aggressively as possible, like invading the enemy's territory and making these plays happening that way.
Yeah, I think they're also setting up a dragon here as well, so good pressure from the bot side of Dorlingis and the small boy to kind of push that bot lane in and know they're going to help that Kindred. Since the mark actually spawned in that bot scuttle as well, so Kindred now should be 2 or 3 marks into this game already, looking very strong on Chisholm's side. 2-0 on this Kindred, and he's looking quite deadly.
Yeah, an Infernal Dragon picked up as well for Chisholm. As again mentioning, you know, for those who might not know, the dragon is the buff that spawns on that lower half of the map. There are 4 different dragons that can spawn until later in the game where you can see the 5th. Each of them are based off of a different element, and the Infernal Dragon is arguably the most powerful of all 4 of those initial ones. It gives your team a percentage true damage buff, I believe.
No, extra 80
It's just
AP.
extra 80 and AP.
Yeah,
so
adaptive force.
it's just extra damage, adaptive force damage that helps the team. It's particularly later in the game as it goes because it's a percentage. That percentage just gets higher and higher.
Yeah.
So a huge pickup for Chisholm, something that will sort of help snowball this early lead that they've gathered.
Yeah, precisely. I believe it's 10% AD and 12% AP or something like that. I think there's a little bit more, like it's always higher ratios for AP than AD for some reason. But yeah, I've seen this top side though, macintoshpluss actually going very even with the Vladimir, which is interesting to see. Obviously, macintoshpluss, one of those key Gnar players. We've seen actually an interesting amount of Gnar players in the tournament, given Gnar's not a champion that's actually picked too often. He's a little bit of an interesting champion. I think he's a very strong one as well. I think being able to play around that rage bar and the Mega Gnar properly is really something key to the champion and something a lot of players kind of struggle with or find hard to master. So interesting to see how well macintoshpluss is going to utilize Gnar, which is the name of the ultimate, to win the big team fights for his side.
Yeah, it's interesting because macintoshpluss is a Gnar player in his solo queue, but with all the Gnars that we've actually seen on stream throughout the course of this year, never really has had a strong showing. And unfortunately for macintoshpluss, the start of this one is kind of following that same sort of path. So far in this game, Ultie on that Vladimir has really been able to bully macintoshpluss, as is amplified by that CS differential that you're seeing on the bottom of the screen right there. Already nearly 20 CS up is Ultie. And for Coomera, that's something perhaps they might look to play around, especially later in this game. Once Ultie gets a couple more items and becomes like the split push monster this Vladimir can be, there will be kill pressure as well thanks to that electrocute. I kind of like what Coomera's doing, but I want to see him start to act on it. Yeah,
I mean, sure, and you can definitely see as well Vladimir going for this more aggressive build, already getting a CS lead as well, so we'll be winning those side lanes against the Gnar. Obviously, going in for aggressive plays, that empowered Q just doing so much damage. There's 2 things when you're laning as a Vladimir to watch for: not getting hit by the tides of blood and not being hit by those, transfusions?
Oh, another invade and another kill for microlag. Digital D-Star cut down in his own jungle.
Yeah, I mean, microlag's just carrying.
And they want more. A good little escape, though, from Wardbrother means he won't fall down. That was an ultimate used by Malfunction.
I mean, largely S-lead as well across the board for Chisholm. I mean, obviously, besides the top side, he's a little bit further behind, but Yasuo in this mid lane, 64 CS to 38. I mean, Yasuo, one of the easier champions in the game to CS on, and interesting to see him opt for a Zeal early as well. It's an interesting choice. I think most Yasuo mains prefer to opt for that extra attack speed to get the Qs out with the Berserker Graves, but regardless, we'll be doing a little bit of extra crit damage here in the mid lane by Malfunction.
Yeah, you know, get a couple lucky crits and the trade could go his way. Meanwhile, a bit of action could potentially be happening up top right now. microlag kind of making his way up there as Ultie goes in. macintoshpluss jumping forward as well. Segment pool still available, but the Hemo Plague is actually what comes down. Ultie possibly thinking of turning this around, but has to use Flash defensively instead underneath the tower. He is so low. microlag trying to find his way in, but the tower's turning it back around, forcing the Lamb's Respite out of microlag to stay alive. A great turnaround from Ultie.
Yeah, interesting ultimate cooldown burn, but Pyke is actually here and does his ultimate available.
Pyke and an execution onto microlag. That's a huge bit of shutdown gold going over to Wardbrother, who might want more. macintoshpluss has to get away, and Coomera fighting back into this one.
Yeah, good little roam there from Wardbrother coming up from the mid lane. Unfortunately, Malfunction couldn't push that lane and couldn't stop the Pyke from roaming around, and is able to use the death from below to slam down from above and take out microlag. So taking out that key carry, remember getting a shutdown over for his side as well, and extra 600 gold for getting that kill, which is huge for his side, and looks like he was going to instantly pick up a Dustblade and three longswords.
Oh, long range Dark Binding does connect. No real follow-up, however. It's good to see that coming from the bot lane. Speaking of the bot side of the map right now, take a look at the ward control in the river from Chisholm on the bot half of that map. Like, Dorlingis and the small boy, they're going to be very safe. As a bit of action in this mid lane, Digital D-Star trying to push Malfunction back, just really coming out worse for wear there. That's a bit more interesting as well. That is microlag actually kind of stalking, possibly looking for a play. Not going to find it this time around. Pings are coming down, though, onto this dragon. This time it will be an Ocean Drake, which would mean increased health and mana regen when out of combat. something good to pick up if you were playing a safe farming game. And I believe Chisholm do want it, so they're going to commit 4 people there. Wardbrother is stepping forward, so he will see it happening, but he needs to be careful. If he gets nabbed by the hook, as he does, he could be in a lot of trouble. The depth charge coming through, and the damage follow-up is not quite enough to bring him down. So a cheeky escape from Wardbrother, near disaster for Coomera.
Yeah, almost going down there. We'd like to talk about and commend really Chisholm's bot lane here from Dorlingis and the SmallBoy, landing into Caitlyn Morgana, which is one of the strongest 2v2 lanes in the game. They're actually winning the lane quite comprehensively. 85 CS in this Caitlyn to 100 on the Vayne, which is a big lead for them as well. See a gank in the lane.
Yeah, microlag looking for Wardbrother, not going to find too much. Microlag, he seems to be having the most success actually when he's been invading and going after digital D-Star as opposed to these lane ganks at the moment.
Oh god. Yeah, no, I mean definitely, especially in this mid lane as well. Yasuo is very far ahead of Pyke, 95 CS to 48. I mean, I definitely think Malfunction could be doing a little bit more with his lead, though. I feel like he's not moving around the map as much and pushing it as effectively as you usually see Yasuo's do when they start getting a little bit ahead. I mean, interesting to see the option for fleet footwork as well. Interesting to see on a Yasuo. Usually you'll see the flash burn out of Caitlyn there, but usually see Conqueror, and you really certainly see fleet footwork taken in really difficult matchups, and usually the range into melee. I
like this timing. The segment pool does come down. Microlag making his way up there, looking for this kill onto Ultie, who does not have flash, into the wall with Gnar, and down goes the Vladimir. A big kill secured by Chisholm.
Yeah, great work from MacintoshPluss to use that Gnar ultimate at the right time. Uses the bounce as well to gap close onto the Vladimir and really helps chase him down, and does get the kill as well. It looks like they'll be able to get a couple of plates here, if not the tower itself. Demolish, of course, taking it down now. 2 plates done already. Should get 3 plates before Ultie. Doesn't have teleport either, so they could actually get another plate as well if they really wanted to.
Yeah, they need to be a little bit careful. Wardbrother was looking at possibly roaming up top, but the pings did go down, so Malfunction let his team know, okay, our mid laner's missing. He's probably coming up top, so the smart choice is made by Chisholm, and they back off for now. Actually taking a look at that Rift Herald is microlag, so that could be picked up. Big dredge line connecting onto Master Masoon right there. These have been some long-range dredge lines coming from the SmallBoy.
Yeah, the SmallBoy's been landing a lot of CC down. You see bot lane now sieging onto that tower as well, obviously forcing them all the Caitlyn, out of lane means they lack that wave clear, but SmallBoy under tower.
Yeah, he's in a bit of trouble, but not as much trouble as Wardbrother, who walked right into MacintoshPluss. It looks like the follow-up is there. Digital D-Star burns Flash, but cannot get away. 2 more kills picked up for Chisholm, and they are starting to blow this game open.
Yeah, 6-1 now on the side of Chisholm, 4k gold as well. Rift Herald will be dropped in the mid lane just before the plating goes down, so they'll be able to pick up all of that gold, and that should be first blood tower as well going over to their side.
Yeah, that is a huge pickup for Chisholm at the moment. They get the first tower, they have the first 2 dragons, they have the lead in kills. Really, everything is going their way, and that is best exemplified by that 6k gold lead up above. Continuing that siege on the mid tower right now. They need to be a bit careful. Ultie has roamed down from top lane. Digital D-Star as well coming up the middle. This will be enough to force Chisholm back, but something else I want to bring attention to. At the start, we mentioned the strength of EnderGamer and Master Monsoon on the Caitlyn Morgana bot lane and how strong it is. But if we're looking at crowds, like at the creep score right now, it's actually really in favor of Dorlingis, who, with less range, you think would be worse off in that situation.
Yeah, I just simply think it's them not utilizing their pressure effectively enough, right? The Morgana, should be moving up in that lane and really commanding it. It should be her lane to take over and control. And every time she's landing that Dark Binding, you should have a Caitlyn trap underneath, followed by a headshot, and there's just so much damage coming through. You see that Dark Binding just, flying one. I think Master Monsoon is just playing very far back and playing extremely defensively, which is something you really shouldn't be doing, especially given how much your champion is really great into the opposing side, right? You've got the aggressive Black Shield to kind of deny the CC from the Nautilus. You've also got that extra range. You got a really good poke with your pull, with your Dark Binding. You see, that's why her water item isn't really completed either, because she's not playing aggressively. She's not getting these Spell Thief stacks, and in 14 minutes, an uncompleted support item is suboptimal.
Dredge line connecting, but the depth charge are blocked by that Black Shield from Master Masoon, so no kill will be happening just yet. A very, very good play from that Morgana. It means EnderGamer gets out alive, especially without having flash on that Caitlyn. That was dicey.
Yeah, you see, ganked on the bot side though was Wardbrother.
Oh, Wardbrother, he went in a bit too deep. Malfunction trying to turn around with the Ignite. Wardbrother will still survive it. A timely roam by Digital D-Star does scare Malfunction away, but down bot is this gank. Lancer Smite is available if needed. Might not be required though. The tower dive collects 2 kills and a late teleport coming through. Finally, here comes Wardbrother as well, trying to push him away. A huge hook does force out the Lancer Spite, so microlag in a lot of trouble. Did get tapped by that Hemo Flake, and it should not be enough to bring down the kill. microlag surviving on a sliver. The giant snowball gets blocked by the minions as well, so Coomera cannot get anything back.
Yeah, fantastic dive executed there by Chisholm. Malfunction roaming down as well, and teleport burnt out of Ultie to come and help them down. Looks like top tower also goes over, so Chisholm just winning all across the map. Unfortunately, microlag did fall down earlier in the game, so not a perfect game for Chisholm, but it's looking very good for them. 7,000 gold ahead this early on in the game is a humongous lead to have, and especially in that mid lane there, you can see how far Malfunction is going to really start taking out this game. microlag now first item completed, looking towards that Black Cleaver on this Kindred as well is going to be extremely strong. Vayne finally getting a back down, so got that Zeal completed, got the IE completed as well, so she's going to be pumping out a lot of damage. Interesting to see her not going for a Rage Blade. A little bit different. Usually you see Vayne traditionally go for that more scaling build overall, but all these champions are looking so strong on the side of Chisholm, and I think it's only a matter of time, until they take out this game. I think the first Baron will be the end of the game here for Coomera.
Yeah, that's definitely a very likely outcome as we continue. microlag has just been doing so well on this Kindred, just being in the right place at the right time, collecting kill after kill. 100% kill participation from a jungler in the first 20 minutes is exactly what you want to see.
Yeah.
So microlag definitely having that large impact on this game, and unfortunately for Digital D-Star, not quite the reciprocal performance. Down 0-4 and 0, like half of the team's deaths, and that's just really coming from like the aggressive positioning and the aggressive play from microlag. Constant invading, constant harassing has really put Coomera behind. And at this stage, if you're a fan of Coomera or you go to Coomera High School and you're watching your team and supporting them, it's not all doom and gloom yet. You do have a late scaling Vladimir, you have the later scaling Caitlyn as well. There is a chance that, Chisholm kind of start to ease up a bit, possibly could slow down, and maybe Coomera can turn it around in that sense. But if things continue to go at this pace, this is going to be a quick game as both hooks do connect. Dorlingis is the target from Coomera, but no one can get past that. SmallBoy, a huge shot though from EnderGamer, actually does take down this Vayne, and Wardbrother jumping right back into the fight executes the SmallBoy, and those are the picks that Coomera needs.
Yeah, 2 quick kills picked up onto this bot lane of Chisholm. Good little play there by Wardbrother to get in, and if only he had a little bit more CS, if only his Qs were not nerfed, he'd be looking to kind of transition Coomera through. I think that's their biggest weakness right now. That's their biggest struggle. Coomera need to find a way to transition to their late game, right? Because Chisholm actually have a really strong mid game, and that's where they spike, right? Off this Yasuo with the static shift plus IE. That 2-item spike. Gnar as well spikes off into 2 items, so it's really difficult for them to kind of walk through the
Oh, nowhere for Digital D-Star to go. An easy roam up from Malfunction help gets that kill, and Wardbrother might be pushed too far forward as well. Does have a bit of help from the rest of the team, so we'll be able to get out fine for now. However, Ultie going through the jungle, microlag is there, and look how much work this Kindred is doing. Ultie cannot do much to defend against him, has to burn flash to survive. Scary situation there for Coomera, but they're not out of the woods yet. microlag drops that Lancer Spike, is trying to throw damage back down. Malfunction joining on the backside as the rest of Chisholm arrive as well. Down goes Wardbrother. Down goes Master Masoon as well. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of the blue side.
Yeah, Chisholm again going through microlag, unfortunately falling once again, but this Chisholm comp is just so much stronger at this stage again. They are a mid-game comp, and Coomera needs a way to get to late.
Good little bit of tornado hitting right there, and unfortunate ultimate used by Digital D-Star. macintoshpluss stepping forward, trying to sort of scare away the side of Coomera. At this stage, you have Baron spawning in 30 seconds. I feel as if you are Chisholm right now, you should be setting up vision around that Baron pit and looking to sort of secure that last major objective that can hopefully help you end this game. However, with the siege going as well as it is, I'm not too surprised to see Chisholm actually staying in that mid lane. Down bot as well, another tower has been picked up for Chisholm, so that's just going to be putting more pressure on the Coomera side. They have to knuckle down, they have to play smart defensive play, but the big thing I'm noticing lacking from Coomera is this lack of wards, but it's a cheeky flash burned out, but a condemn into the wall. Digital D-Star again falls, and now the Baron should definitely be going over to Chisholm.
Yeah, I mean, and generally you'll see teams start throwing around the Baron, but not if they get picks like that. 3 dragons in their side as well. Unfortunately, not the Mountain Dragon, sorry, which helps you take down the Baron, but the other 3 Drakes have been completed. Infernal for team fighting, Cloud for faster rotation, and of course the Ocean Dragon to pull off this Baron and restore some health. As we see macintoshpluss forcing Wardbrother out, and it will be very difficult for him to grab a steal, especially with the jungler down, but looks like they're going to have to wait and look for another pick before they actually start on this objective.
Yeah, Chisholm is being very aggressive, actually trying to force a fight as opposed to starting the objective and letting Coomera come to them. And yes, okay, they did get the flash out of Wardbrother, but Coomera did a strong enough job in buying time for Digital G-Star to get back in this one. A smite steal is possible. It would be very difficult being 2 levels down. You never know. And because Chisholm is kind of afraid of this sort of 50-50 Baron dance, they're not going to actually attempt the Baron. But El Smoky, you know, Dark Binding on the small boy leads to a kill. So support down for Chisholm. Now a 5v4 situation. I don't know if Chisholm want to keep pressuring and looking for this push, but I might be wrong. macintoshpluss and Malfunction, I'm sorry, looking for any sort of pickup. Microlag as well, still trying to find anyone from Coomera.
That was a great chain CC lock as well. Then obviously the Morgana route into the Nunu route kept you know, the small boy just, he kind of just stood there and was like, oh well, I'm getting hit in the face and I can't do anything. And eventually falls down there. Didn't burn the exhaust though. Didn't burn any cooldowns to try to help keep himself alive. So unfortunately going down there for Chisholm and just delaying this Baron even more. And you know, if Chisholm continue to play like this around the Baron, there's definitely a window for Coomera to get back into the game and start taking it over.
Yeah, I mean, really, the best way for Chisholm to like push the advantage of the lead is to force that fight around the Baron pit. That's really what they would want in this type of situation, if only because, you know, they have such a significant gold lead at nearly 10k. Yes, their team fight is probably better in the jungle in these narrow corridors to like sort of chain the CC and get that big knockup. macintoshpluss, however, is looking for Wardbrother, and here we go. A bit of a Baron dance. It's Digital. D-Star just gets obliterated by microlag.
Yeah, and on the bot side as well, picking up that second Infernal Dragon. This should definitely be the Baron started up for them here. The Dragon, the enemy jungler is down, so there's no way that Coomera can come into contest and steal. They also see the bot lane, in the bot lane they're clearing out that wave. So I don't understand why they haven't started at the Baron yet. It's such an easy opportunity just to go for it. So open, you know, there's no contest coming out, and they're just going to sit around and wait and allow Digital D-Star to respawn. Like, they have eyes on members. Why aren't they starting the Baron?
Yeah, Chisholm slowing the pace of this game down is actually a little bit disappointing. I'd like to see them have kept pushing, you know, pressure on them. Yeah. As this game continues to get longer, there's more chances for EnderGamer, more chances for Ultie to get back in this one. Already you're seeing 2 items completed on the Caitlyn, the Infinity Edge as well as the Rapid Fire Cannon. So you have huge crit damage, you have extended range. EnderGamer actually can do quite a bit of work as 2 fights happening at the same time right now. 2 members possibly getting picked out. Down goes Wardbrother to the small boy, is up above. Malfunction was looking for Ultie, but Vladimir is so tough to bring down, won't actually be able to get kills on 2 fronts. It doesn't matter. With the Pyke down, it's a 5v4. The pings are on the Baron, and finally, Chisholm looked to bring down the big purple worm.
Yeah, finally they're going to be taking up against Baron Nashor. A little bit too, or maybe 3 minutes, a little bit slow, but regardless, still got the objective. Should reset now and look to just 5 men down mid and end the game.
Yeah, it's really strange. This game feels like it's been going for a lot longer than 24 minutes.
Yeah.
With just how quickly Chisholm sort of turned the pace around from one of like fast and aggression to sort of slow and trying to wait out. Although I do have to credit Coomera for a lot of that slower pace. They had been doing a very good job of sort of like dodging and staying just out of vision and not letting themselves be caught. But it was during that period I really wanted to see Chisholm actually step back, take that Baron, and make the aggressive play in that facet. However, with Baron now secured by Chisholm, the siege can definitely be on. The Baron, that giant purple worm that you saw get taken down as, hold on 1 second, lands with spike, burn, microlag flashing forward, gets the kill and jumps right back into the safety of the ultimate. Great play from the jungler.
Yeah, fantastic there from microlag using that Lamb's Respite properly to pick up the kill.
The wind wall! Blocking so much damage as well. Yes, the ultimate from Digital D-Star does force the flash out of Malfunction, but the damage may already be done. Up top, Ultie in the 2v1. Not happy to be here. Yes, Wardbrother's going to come up and try and turn things around, and macintoshpluss in super deep, trying to turn things back around. Wardbrother super low. A huge Gnar gets 2 for macintoshpluss, and that is 3 kills down on the side of Coomera. Inhibitor sure to follow next.
Then that Ultie was like one in TFT, just swiping the entire team, and Digital D-Star
Again, not where he wants to be. 3 members down at the moment for Coomera. A great condemn into the wall means a double kill for Dorlingis. EnderGamer on his own, trying to defend the base. Microlag, though, has more range, has more damage. There is the ace, and that will be the game going over to Chisholm College.
Yeah, so, you know, it did slow down quite a bit in that mid-game. It was quite, a lot more of a slower pace here from Chisholm, but eventually they did pick up the Baron. They will now dot their I's, cross their T's, take down this Nexus, and take down the second game here at the end.
Wardbrother going for that last second cheeky execute is unable to find it, but a clean performance from Chisholm College. They had control from start to finish. Microlag, phenomenal on that Kindred.
Yeah, really, really nice. Very smart pathing in the early game as well to set the Nunu behind. And I feel like Digital D-Star just had a really unfortunate game. It's just one of those games where you fall behind and there's just nothing you can really do. You're just sitting back, trying to do something, but you're just so far behind that nothing you go for really tries to work. And unfortunately, you just can't do anything. And honestly, great game by Chisholm. I think I definitely could have played the mid game a little bit more clinically, but overall, still a very strong performance from a 25-minute win. Is still a hard stomp in any game, and it looks like they were having fun out there as well, really enjoying playing the game, playing on stage. So our next match, match 3, is actually Indooroopilly State High versus Forest Lake. So from the first game, you see Forest Lakes again, and Indooroopilly are actually undefeated so far in any UQU high school League of Legends tournament. Haven't lost a game yet, so we'll see if that streak continues today, but I believe we will have to name our MVP and ace.
Yes.
I think the MVP is pretty clear for Chisholm. I think microlag, definitely played the best on the side. Obviously had that really smart pathing and just...
From level 1. From level 1.
Yeah, from level 1.
He was phenomenal. So, yeah, unanimous. Microlag will be getting that MVP. As for the ace,
it's a bit Wardbrother, to be honest. I mean, I think, honestly, he had really low CSPM, which is obviously creep score, I mean, the amount of minions you've killed per minute. You want to be, generally, if you're a dual player, around that 6 to 7 mark is pretty achievable throughout a game. When you're getting better, look for 8. Around 8 CSPM is pretty much where you cap out. Is when you're getting really good at farming up throughout the game. If you're getting much higher, you're generally too busy focusing on farm and not busy focusing enough on the game. Obviously, in competitive at the highest level, you see players hitting 14, 15 CSPM, likes of Rookie, Caps, etc. But that's very much a very isolated kind of scenario when you're hitting that much gold per minute. But I definitely think Wardbrother, I mean, despite not obviously getting that lane dominance, I believe he was moving around the map and actually created a lot of plays for his team. I feel like the bot lane didn't really use their advantage very well. I didn't play that well. I feel like D-Star just got, just unfortunately just outpathed completely and unfortunately sent him behind.